group technology? The name is very obvious. You are taking the advantage of the group to utilize the technology. The advantages of group means there may be some similarities in the operation. These similarities may be utilized to use the technology in an effective manner. So this group technology we are going to deliberate today. You can define this group technology as a manufacturing philosophy in which similar parts are identified and grouped together to take advantage of their similarities in design and production. So group means you are arranging the group in such a manner there some of their similarities. Those similarities may be related to the design, those similarities may be related to the production. These similarities you are taking into consideration and going for group technology. So similarities among parts are going to permit you to be classify these parts into a family. So that is known as a part family. That part family having same geometrical shape, maybe having same size, maybe having same processing steps, maybe having same material, maybe having same design operation, same design procedure. There may be any type of similarity which can be there that can be exploited for this group technology. When you are going to have similarities in operation or in processes or in the design, some difficulties you have to going to count. You are going to encounter. First difficulty is this, that it is difficult to identify part families and group them into different families. It is really an extensive work, so it is going to be a tough task to identify into different parts. Once you have identified this, then the production facilities in the group technology, again it is going to be a difficult one to arrange because the cost is the major criteria. And the cost, apart from the cost, the time is also required to be there. And since you are arranging these machines on the basis of the operations, some of the machines may not be having sufficient operation time, and what will happen? They are going to remain unproductive, or it will be difficult for switching over. That is, the machines are going to remain unproductive during switchover. Some of the examples of these part families, different shapes are going to be here. First part family is made on the basis of prismatic parts. These are going to be similar and requiring similar milling operations. So on the basis of these, you can have one part family. Here in the first one it is similar parts. In the second one, these are the dissimilar parts but requiring similar machining operations. In the third case, some sort of identical designs are there but different manufacturing processes. So when you are going to have these part families, the parts may be similar, requiring similar operation. The part may be dissimilar, requiring similar operations. The design may be same but requiring different operations. So any criteria can be followed to arrange the products into part families. Ways to identify part families. First is the visual inspection. You can visually inspect to know the product, what similarities these products are having. Accordingly, you can have your part family with you. So on the basis of judgment, you are going to arrange different products into families. Second is parts classification and coding. You are identifying similarities among parts and relating them using a coding scheme. Third is the production flow analysis. In this case, the identification is based on information contained in the root sheet to classify parts. A similar production flow analysis is being taken into consideration. You are arranging your parts into different families. The visual inspection method, you can similar operations, you can have similar parts, you can have accordingly, you can arrange these into different parts, into different part families. Parts classification and coding. Some of the parts are very similar to one another, like shafts are there. These are similar in nature. They can be related in a coding system. So in this type of classification and coding, you are having a sequence of symbols, and symbols are generally alphanumeric. Some symbols, some systems use only symbols, but it may be carrying both of these. Features of part classification and coding system. So most classification and coding systems are based on either on the part design attributes, part manufacturing attributes, and both design and manufacturing attributes. That is, in the case of part design attributes, the aspects related to design are going to be considered, while in the case of part manufacturing attributes, manufacturing operations or manufacturing attributes you are considering for coding, and some of the parts may be requiring the combination of the two. Major part design attributes which you can consider: what are the major dimensions of the product, what is the external shape, what is the internal shape, what is the length diameter ratio, what type of material you are going to use, what is the function of that part, what tolerances you have assigned, and what is the surface finish level of your product. So these may be some of the design consideration which are categorized as part design attributes. Similarly, in the case of part manufacturing attributes, what are the major processes, what sequence of operation is being considered, what is the batch size, how much production is there on an annual basis, what type of machine tools are utilized, what type of cutting tools are utilized. It is a single point cutting tool, it is a multi-point cutting tool, whatever it is, and what type of materials you are going to use. These are termed as part manufacturing attributes. Part classification and coding. These are of different types: hierarchical structure or monocode, chain type structure or polycode, and hybrid structure. These three types are generally used for the classification of parts and their coding. If you see this is in the case of polycode. There are different levels of your part with which, on the basis of that, you are going to classify your parts. Maybe level 1 is there, level 2 is there, level 3 is there. So each and every symbol is dependent upon preceding symbol. For example, first level is there. Suppose you are classifying your shaft. First is the shaft. In the second level, you may be having whether it is a solid shaft, whether it is a hollow shaft, or whether it is a stepped shaft, for example. So this is going to be at level 2. In the level 3, again the sub classification of level 2. Suppose it is a stepped shaft, how many steps are going to be there? Suppose it is a solid shaft, what is going to be the length of that? Suppose it is a hollow shaft, what is going to be the internal diameter of that? Likewise, it depends upon what type of product is there and what way you are going to make the coding of that. Chain type structure or polycode. In this, each symbol in the sequence always remains same and does not depend on the value of the preceding symbol. In the previous case, it was basic one symbol, and based on that the rest of the levels were going to be defined. While in the case of chain type structure, you are having different symbols for different type of classification, and these are independent of that. In this, coding digit value maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to a number that is maybe 8, 9. This digit value depends on alphabet code chosen. If suppose first is going the first number at the first place, it is going to define material. Second may be material form. Third may be material property. Fourth may be another thing. Fifth may be again another thing. Likewise, surface finish, test methodology, etc. So on the basis of that, you are going to classify this. So this is more broad. and more specific type of classification can be carried out. This is a combination. Monocode is there and then polycode is there. Monocode, you are going to define different levels of that, and after that polycode is going to be there. So in this case you can have each and every part detail in that, and on the basis of that you can classify your product. Cellular manufacturing definition. You have grouped different parts on the basis of similarity, or on the basis of part design, on the basis of manufacturing. Once you have grouped them into different part families, then the second part is this, that manufacturing is to be carried out, and this manufacturing is to be done by making certain cells there. These cells are made on the basis of the similarities of operation, on the basis of the similarities of the part. So cellular manufacturing is, the cells are arranged to enable all operations to be performed properly. You have to arrange the cell. Different machines you have to arrange them, and these are arranged so that the operations are to be performed properly, and the parts are moved from one operation to another, eliminating setup time and unnecessary cost between various operations. So based on these part families you are making the cells, and then cellular manufacturing is carried out. And since part is moving from one operation to another, the setup time is going to be finished, and the cost related with the setup time are going to be minimized. This cellular manufacturing, you can have a type of group technology where different machines or processes are joined to form a cell. You are making a cell on the basis of the group technology, that is similarities, based on similarities or based on the part family. Second is this, that every cell is devoted to the production of one or group of part families. Third is, tools, equipment and workstations are arranged to ensure unhindered flow of material. And the last is, products of varied nature can be produced, because you are making the cell, and in that cell you are, based on the part families, you are arranging the machine. So different parts of varied nature you can produce based on cellular manufacturing. Advantage of this, reduced material handling and transit time, as the machines are arranged on the basis of operations. So reduced material handling is there, no transit time is going to be there, or it is going to be very less. A reduced setup time, because machines have already been arranged. Reduced work in process inventory, continuous flow of material is there, so reduced work in process inventory is there. Better use of human resources, again he is performing the task. Every person who has been assigned a workstation or a machine, he is performing the task, so better utilization of worker is taking place. Better scheduling, because you know that what is the status of different operations, what is the status of the product which you are manufacturing, and how long it is going to take. And obviously enhanced product quality is going to be there. Disadvantages are also there. Part families may not be formed due to their insufficient number. Insufficient number means that if the production, the demand from the customers is less, it is going to be the insufficient number. Imbalance in cell may also lead to wastage of resources, thus increased cost. Skilled workers are needed. They need to be utilized fully, and again capital investment is going to be high, because duplication of sources, duplication of resources are going to be there. Machines are going to be duplicated, so they may need to have more investment. This just example of this cellular layout or cellular manufacturing is there. Storage is there. Different operations are going to be there. Based on this, product is moving, and finally it is going to be the warehouse where finished products are going to be settled. So the philosophy behind this cellular layout is, that you are making the part families based on this, the different cells you are making, and the production is going to be carried out. Thank you.